Guys, it's Darren the window cleaner, Green Pro Clean Limited, window cleaning in Nottingham and Derbyshire. Today we are going to demonstrate a first clean, because as we can see along here it is absolutely minging. These haven't been touched for quite a while. We've got the crap on the sills, we've got the bird shit up here, we've got the bee pollen over yonder, etc. But not only a first clean on the outsides, we're doing a full window clean here. So a full valet, as we can see in here, it's absolutely minging in the traps as well. I call these the traps because I don't know why, I just always have. And we're going to do an internal window clean as well. Excuse the barking dogs, they will be shot shortly. As you can see on the windowsill behind us, because we're going to do the insides of the windows, the person still left all their stuff here. Don't be afraid when you get to a job to just say to somebody, clear off the windowsills please. That's not your job, unless of course you've allowed extra ching ching for you to have the time to clear the windows. So we're going to start with the basic outside window clean, and all we're going to do with this is we are going to soak up our applicator in the oldie bucket, dripping wet. And the reason for dripping wet is the wetter the window is, the more easily it will blade off. So we want it absolutely soaking. Where we had the bird poos and stuff, on these Unger strips that I like, you've got a little scouring pad on the end that just makes it easier sometimes to take off the marks, the stubborn debris, shall we say. So get right up into all the corners and don't be afraid to soap the hell out of it, because remember we're doing all the framework as well whilst we're at it. So we'll soap up the other one to give it all a minute to soak in. We'll get that a bit wetter because I like them dripping wet. You'll see lads that that'll sit back and they'll go, oh no, just the tiniest bit of water will squirt it on an applicator. But on a first clean, you want to be thorough. The reason for being super thorough is just the fact that at the end of the day, when you come back next time, it's going to be a hell of a lot quicker. Bucket on a belt, have all your tools to hand. You've got your bucket on your belt with your applicator, your squeegees, your scrapers, your rags, etc. Now we've got it soaked up, we just take our normal rag here, the microfiber rag, and we go to just a finger width on the inside of the frame, and we wipe up and down. And here primarily we're trying to clean up the frame a little, but also take a bit off of the glass. And this is so that the water that's been pushed in and trapped under the side of the rubber doesn't then run out afterwards and spoil your good work. So along the top, back down the far side, as we can see, even with just a little bit of water and soap already, that frame is starting to look a lot shinier, a lot whiter. Right in at the top there, some leftover silicone on there, we just brush that off from whoever installed this window. And same again over here. Keep your cloth wiping the whole thing and taking just a half inch off on the inside. If your cloth's not wet enough to shift the dirt, don't worry about getting it a bit damp. Dip it in your bucket, give it a good squeeze so that you can get a good bit of purchase on the dirt there. Same thing again. So we've got all the way around the frame, and once I take those couple of bits off there, I'm quite happy with that on the outside. Come over here, touch up the bottom of the frames. Oh, big old spider there, sorry buddy, off you go. So now that is pretty much ready for a blading. So this is my favourite. I like the Unger S Plus. I don't buy into all this zero detailing stuff, it's absolute nonsense. But if you've gone up along your edges here, you will not have, as I say, if you've run along there, taken the water out of the frames, you won't have any detailing up there to do afterwards anyway. So up, come back down, and always close out to a side like so. So that you've only got this corner with some bits of water dripping off of it to contend with. And as you can see, no water running down here afterwards. I've got a couple of little bubbles just here, but that's where the microfibers come in. This is about the only work that your large microfiber scrim cloth needs to do, and just a little touch like so, that will leave you absolute perfection there on an outside window. Just buff off that one little line, oops, naughty boy. But now we've still got this problem at the bottom here, all this excess water that's dripped down. Once again, we just take this just up to the edge and we just run it along, nice and simple, and get rid of all the dead spiders. And as we do so, now we're coming down, the windowsill is going to pretty much clean itself. Now we can see here that we've got some spots of creosote by the looks of it, is what I would say that was, but we'll get to that momentarily. So that, there we go. We've still got this one to do. It's a very warm day here, it's middle of August, so I'm just going to actually soap this up again because it's drying quite quickly on there. And when it starts to dry is when you will leave yourself with smears and streaks. You'll want it to be nice and fluid, nice and wet, and then job will be a good one. So grab my favourite tinny. Sorry about that, guys, we just reached maximum recording on the cell phone, so it cut itself off. But as you can see, I'm still cleaning this sill down the bottom here, and we've got a couple of little bits of debris to take off. But for a first clean, for your standard first clean, there's nothing at all wrong with that for a traditional first clean. However, I'm going to now ask Andy to step in closer. Step up will be the cry. As we can see along here, the windowsill's quite greyed, it's quite faded, and it could do with a bit of restoration. We've also got that little bit of creosote there that's bugging me. Take that bit of dirt off, and jobs are good. So we are going to approach that now, and if I can get Andy to pause for a sec while I grab my other bits required, I shall be right back with you. Hey guys, we're back again. Just to do the windowsill now, to sprucing up the white work, because sprucing, there's a new word I think I just invented. But the white work has seen better days, so we're going to bring it back. This is the younger professional rub out that you hear me talk plenty about. This is £15 for a 500ml bottle, not cheap. If you're wondering what's in here, it's exactly the same stuff. But the reason I decant it into a little bottle like this is so when I'm doing a job for a customer, they don't see what products I'm using, because I don't want them going, oh well, I'll just do it myself next time. I want them hiring me. I don't want them knowing what I'm up to. But all we're going to do to get rid of the greys, if Andy would like to step in, to get rid of the greys over here, we are simply going to have a dollop, about a pea size, onto yonder. That'll do it. It's a big pea. And then we're just going to start working it in with a classic green scourer. And this isn't going to take but a shake, as they say. We can get right up into the corner there, right the way back along. And you'll watch how that grey and that dowdiness, as it were, that nastiness is just dissipating. The reason you'll see some lads out there going, oh, I just use Sif, etc., I use this, I use that, and other products that are a hell of a lot cheaper than the rub out. But the problem that I find with them is it sort of leaves a very flat finish when it's done. Now that's all it takes with this stuff. You could get up onto the actual frame part here and just do a little bit of that. We haven't added any more in, but this will just help you see a bit better as to what we're doing. So we'll just work along there as well. And then all we do is we take our old rag out of our pocket, same one we've used previously for detailing, no point wasting fresh rags. I'm going to wipe across, and as you can see, I still need to get in this corner a bit better, but it will give you an idea of the difference. So if you come right over here, Andy, you can see where I haven't got into the corner, where the whole thing was this grey just previously, but now you can see how nice and white and shiny that is, and that's the younger rub out for you. Now, I've not actually attempted it on creosote before, but let's give it a whirl. So we'll take it onto the creosote there, and we'll just keep working it. And this may be too stubborn for it. So at this point, we are going to say, yeah, that is too stubborn for it. And just give it those little marks there as well. Got a bug in me, sorry. So that's too stubborn for it. So we're going to wet it up plenty, like so. And then we're going to break out a tool that everybody should have on their belt, the scraper. And you've got to be very careful scraping plastic, simply because you don't want to gouge it. So here's my anger scraper, and this blade is shot. I should have actually changed it before starting this, but I haven't. And we're going to very delicately, we're just going to rub it on there. And you can see how already it's digging in a little. There we go, and that's just knocked it off now. It's just got some purchase and knocked the top off of that. But oh so gentle, there was no pressure. It was just tapping on the edge of the offending item. And then we give that a little brush up like that with the scourer. There we go. And we will take it out like so. And that will get rid of your paints, your creosotes, etc., and leave you with a nice white result. So that's using Unger rub out, guys. Now if I get Andy to give me a pause for a minute whilst I grab some more tools. Right guys, so we're moving on to the traps here, to the shuts as it were, of the window, and we're going to get all of this crap out now. And for me, I like a big old-fashioned car sponge, or if you don't have one laying about, you can just go back to using your good old little sponge scourers. And once again, the wetter the better, because there's a lot of dirt in there to move. These traps and shuts get cleaned so infrequently by most people in the UK, you wouldn't believe it. But literally, just cram it in, get it dripping, and start scrubbing. And everything about doing a window valet like this is nothing more than elbow grease. Lots of it. Oh, in case you're wondering what solution, what soap we have in the bucket, today we have a fairy, just a good old-fashioned fairy. And yeah, so we scrub in and out of all the traps here, get in and out right around there. Then we get underneath here. So this is the area where the window closes. So that's where the overlap is, so you don't often see that on your regular cleans. And as you can see, even just with a scouring pad, it's taking off the surface debris there. Let me just find myself a dry rag, and improving it vastly. You could come down across this with your Onga rub out just to finish it out nicely. But once we've done that, once again we just take our top sponge, typical rag, and we just go along and we get in and out of there best we can. Once we've got as much of that as we can, you can see there's still plenty of soapy residue in there, and that's where good old kitchen towel comes in. One sheet does a plenty. I'm actually applying for that job. But then if you get that kitchen towel in there, just scrub it right up into the corners, bring it back along, and I'm doing this one from the outside in, as it were, quite simply because when you're outside you can splash about a bit more, you can make a bit more of a mess. It makes life so much simpler, and you can shape the kitchen towel. Look at this, it's absolutely nasty. You can shape it to fit into all the nooks and crannies, etc. And once we've got down into there and we've gotten out all the dust, and not just the dust, but this one's a kitchen window, so there will be mould, there will be bacteria in it, etc. and so on. And you can see the huge improvements in that. Now just along the top of the rubber, we've still got plenty of that crap there, so we're going to get on there. As you can see, I've had them move everything off of the windowsill now, so I've got some rags down here to protect the windowsill, and then just work along the top of the rubber. Sorry about that, we keep running out of recording time. Now we're going to move on to the internal clean. I haven't done the outside shut here yet, but I just want to give you guys an idea of how to do all of this properly. But on the internal clean, this is a kitchen window, and kitchen windows get a lot of splatter, a lot of grease on them, a lot of different marks on them. So instead of just attacking this with your regular applicator, once again your pound world scourers here, you should all have crates of in the back of the van, and get the scourer on it. And this is not going to scratch the glass. I know a load of people are going to jump on this going, oh, use a green scourer. This is toughened reinforced glass. Nothing is going to scratch. Well, there are things that will scratch it, of course, but not for this cleaning purpose, and certainly not a green scouring pad. I use greens on plenty because searching about for whites can be a bit of a pain in the doodads. So once again, just work over it, keep working over it, and with experience you will feel when the debris is actually off the glass. You won't even need to look any further, you will feel it. And if you've got bits that won't move, once again, just like we have here, a little spot, we simply hop back onto the scraper. I still haven't changed my blade on. Always move in the same direction, or just one direction. Don't ever go back and forth because you'll scrape the glass. Just keep it moving and make sure it's wet, and that'll take off your greasy spots, your fly poo bits and pieces, etc. And now the reason that I like doing inside when you can open the window outside is because then you can really mop it up and you're not dripping all over the internals, dripping all over everything, and jobs are good in. So that's attacking the kitchen window. Get right in the top there, all that greasy crap off there, all the way back down, and just the same as an external clean here. Now obviously when you are stuck to working on the inside, when you're doing the upstairs windows, etc., and you're restricted from working from the inside out, you would wet this up a lot less. You would just be going damp, so you're not dripping everywhere. But as we've done here with the rags, you will make yourself a protective layer along the windowsill, so you're not messing up their paintwork, etc., so on and so forth. But now we've got that done, we can literally, as I said before, just make sure you take that ½ inch, ¼ inch off around the edge of the glass as you're working. It's only by putting one finger in there, that's all we do. As you can see, just the one finger onto the glass edge, and that takes it off. We work around that, and there we go. Lovely. Now let's get a blade on there to get most of the, sorry, a blade, by that I mean my squeegee. And once again, once you've been up and down, always close out to a vertical position, and you're only dealing with the water draining off in the one corner, making your life easier. I'm just going to change that rag because that one's getting a bit too wet now. Also, your pockets, you should always have your belt with your tool pockets on it, keeping your rags in, keeping everything to hand. Make your day so much faster if you don't have to keep going back to your bucket or back to a toolbox, etc., to find something that you want. So that's how we can do an internal from the inside out, as it were. So from the outside in. We've done this pane. We've still got one or two little spots right there. You probably won't pick those up on the camera, but as I can see them with my eyeball, I am going to address them right there. And once again, I'm going to refer to my scraper just to take those off. Lovely. I'm going to give that a quick dry with that, and then save just having to reblade the whole thing, and then buff it up with your scrim cloth, or your microfiber scrim, I should say. So there we go, lovely. Now we get in and around the lock area, and once again, these handles get greasy as hellfire. I don't know if you can see this, Andy. If you come around this side, you can see just how much dirt and grime and nastiness is on there. It's absolutely disgusting. But just the green side of the scourer, once again, get in there. You can even use an antibacterial spray if you wanted to, you know, some Dettol type thing, just to make sure it's done proper. The nice thing about a little bit of Dettol or any bleach based spray is when you're finished, it actually leaves everything smelling clean as well, if you know what I mean. I'm not just looking it but smelling it. So we just get in on the handles there, and then we come back to our dry cloth, take that off. I can get a bit more off of that, absolutely. And it's literally, you see, I'm spending at least 30 seconds to a minute just doing this one handle. So you have to think that every little part of this you're doing is a full internal clean, is time, and that's it. And time is money, so make sure you charge accordingly. Now, to do a window this size, a window restore this size, I will call it. I've seen lads on YouTube lately talking about, oh, this is the difference between a window clean and a window detail, and they're getting a product called Pink Stuff, which is very good stuff, rubbing some onto the cylinder, and that's how you do. No, this is how you detail a window. You do the outsides, you do the traps, you do the shuts, you do the handles, you do the whole 9 yards. And even to the point where if a customer's got a broken handle like this, if you look on YouTube, you pop this cap out, 2 screws, the whole assembly comes out, and from Screwfix about a £5. So for a £5 and a hacksaw, you can put a new handle on there. You can charge a customer 20 quid for your time. But a window this size, to do a full detail like this, I'd be charging 25 quid just for this one window. So one of these, 2 of these, so the big one up there would be about 30 to 40 quid. So exactly, by the time you finish a house about this size, best part of 200 quid for a morning's work, to be honest. That's not, of course, not including the conservatory here. That's a completely separate issue. So once we've got all the crud and crap off, I just found some more in this corner. That actually looks like a bit of old sellotape on there, but I'll just get that. And a little bit there. I shouldn't have done that because that was a bit too dry to scrape that, so luckily experience tells me that I'm getting away with that. But I don't like the words getting away with because it implies a half-assed job. So this is how we do the insides, because we can drip all the water as much as we want. So any windows where you can open it to the outside, do so. Do so. Then you can just get right in there, leather it up, make a crashing job of it. The window frames, as I say, once you've cleaned them off with your regular sponges and your regular tool set, anything that's left without that shine on it, you break the younger rub out onto it, and that will leave you with a lovely minty shiny white finish. Get that fingerprint off, that's mine. So that's interesting. Did I just put that on there? I do hope not. Let's get that off. So I'll need a little bit of rub out in a minute, which we will do. But as I say, so we start with the outsides. We get the outsides nice and white. Then we get into the traps around here, and then we haven't done the outside of the shuts yet. But that will literally simply be, before you all start asking, is once again just a sponge. Get in there, work it up and down. Get right into the grooves, all the nooks and crannies. The sponge will shape to fit the contours of the frame, and cram it in there. So if you want to be truly pedantic, as we sometimes are, get your little spare toothbrush, a nice stiff one, just to get right up into all the tiny little corners. Not happening on this customer's job because this customer happens to be my house anyway, so I'm not paying myself. But yeah, but I was in the kitchen yesterday cooking a Sunday lunch when I looked at the windows and I thought, Christ, I know window cleaners don't often clean their own windows, but that's disgusting, Darren, so time to jump on it. So we started with the outsides, then we've moved to the traps and the shuts, then we've done the inside here and the handle. Now we'll move to the inside of the house, and we'll do the inside of this pane because obviously it doesn't open, but that's covered in my internal window cleaning videos for you anyway. As you can see, we've got this open. I talked about taking off that little inch there. You can see it up along here as well, so that will need a wash down, but that's what I refer to as a window detail, and how to do. You can see how nice and wide everything is now. A full-on proper window detailing. So hope you found this useful, guys. Comments in the box below as always. If you like what we do, please subscribe. My thanks to Andy for doing the video whilst I'm waffling at you guys. And yeah, see you all again soon. Thanks for watching.